In this video, I'll be showing how to link images to your label file using Excel. By linking your images to variable data such as using Excel, this will allow you to create labels that have different images depending on which entry you choose. In my case, I am going to be creating a label file that has different directional arrows depending on which entry that I can choose, and these will all be printed at once. Before I can start creating my Excel spreadsheet, I need to get to a point where I am then ready to start inserting the images into my label file, like I am here. I then need to find the file path of the images that I would like to use within my label file. If you are using images off of your computer, you need to navigate to the image within your File Explorer, right-click, and choose Copy as Path. If you are looking to use images from the clip art gallery, such as the arrows that I'm going to be using today, you need to start off by starting to go to insert the image as you would normally. So by going to clip art, clicking into the label, and then navigating to the image that you would like to use. In my case, I am going to be using these first 4 arrows here. As I click on each one, you will see that at the bottom of the screen, it has entered the full file path for me. I will need to highlight this whole thing, right-click, and copy. Now that I have this file path, this is obviously just for the first image, I can then start creating my spreadsheet. Within the spreadsheet, you need to have a column that is specifically just for the file path like I have here. And you can see that each entry has a slightly different file path for each image. I have also added an optional extra column here just with a small image description so I know which one is which. Once you have created your spreadsheet like this, you can then close out of it and then return back to your label file. You can then cancel out of the clip art gallery, obviously assuming you have collected all of your file paths. And now I need to create that link between my label file and my spreadsheet. For a more detailed process on how to create this, check out our video on database access. I'm going to go quite quickly through it today. In the bottom left, choose Database Wizard, and then choose Next. I'm going to choose to use a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet, and then I'll choose Next again. I can then choose the Browse button on the right-hand side and navigate to where I have saved my Excel spreadsheet. In my case, I have saved it within this default database folder. I can then choose Open, and once it has inserted the file path, I can then press Next. On this step here, it has taken those 2 columns, the image description and the file path. I only need the file path column, however, I am still going to keep the image description so I can better keep track of which goes to which. I will then choose Next again. I'm going to leave it on the default option here under the label copies per record. I am now going to choose Do Not Create Any Label Objects because we are looking to use an image, not text. I can then press Finish. Now that I have set up the database link, you'll see in the bottom left I have those 2 columns that I selected earlier with the file path and the image description. In order to use this file path for an image, I need to move over to the toolbox on the left hand side and go to the Picture option. Just to the side there is a small drop down arrow, and if you select this, you can see that you can then select the file path column from your spreadsheet. So I'll choose File Path and then click into the label, and it has now pasted the image using the file path from my Excel spreadsheet. I can make this a little bit bigger, and if you don't want the image to be stretching, on the right hand side within the properties, also accessed by pressing this small blue square here, under the Position tab and then the Graphic Resizing sub-tab, there are 3 options of how you can resize your graphic so as to avoid any stretching. I'm going to put this in about the middle of my label file, and then I can go to print. You can see here on the right hand side that image is now changing per label, and this is all still within one page. I can also, using this section on the left hand side, change how many I am going to be doing. So I may want to do extra of these arrow up.